By the end of 2024, I will get rich from the Ethereum ETF, and in this video, I will show you my exact strategy on how to take advantage of this opportunity. Next week, the Ethereum ETF is set to be live for trading, and it's going to create a massive move in the crypto markets. So this is what to expect and how to prepare for this historic moment. All right, welcome back. So let's take a look at the timeline of this Ethereum ETF. Here we have Eric saying SEC finally gotten back to issuers today, asking them to return final S1s on Wednesday and then request effectiveness on Monday after close for Tuesday 7/23 launch. So we can see that we are projecting for July 23rd for the Ethereum ETF to finally be live for everyone to be trading. What does Ethereum ETF mean for crypto? Well, essentially what this does is it opens the door for a lot more traditional investors, such as large financial institutions, people like our parents, our grandparents, where it's harder for them to use a crypto exchange, have hardware wallets. It just cuts out all that barrier to entry. Now it's just as easy as buying a stock. And the reason why this is so big is that we can look back at earlier this year when Bitcoin had their spot Bitcoin ETF approved, and it had an absolute explosive move, and people are expecting the same exact thing for Ethereum. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Bitcoin ETF data from Dune Analytics. As we can see from the launch back in January, there has been a net inflow of $16.2 billion, which is absolutely crazy. I think it's been more than what people have expected, and it's not just slowing down now. Even 6 months later, we can see that just within the past week alone, we've been up about $730 million, and we can hopefully see this for Ethereum. Ethereum is 1/3 the size or 1/3 the market cap of Bitcoin. So for it to be a huge success like this Bitcoin ETF, it only needs to have 1/3 of the inflows. So after looking at the numbers and analytics of the spot Bitcoin ETF, let's take a look how it translates into the Bitcoin price. Well, we can see here that in January 11th, the ETF finally went live, and it took about 2 weeks for the price to bottom out. So yes, it was a sell the news event and it went down 20% within that time. However, after those 2 weeks, Bitcoin finally shot up nearly 90%, as there were a ton of inflows coming in, and there was just a lot of bullish sentiment overall, creating this huge run up in price of nearly 90% at its all-time high. And now we're ranging here, and it's about $65,000. So when we take a look at the Ethereum chart and we use the same logic, we can see that from the current levels that it's at $3,400, that it can go down nearly 20% to 2,800, and we can expect the price to push all the way up to nearly $2,550, which is again a 90% move, similar to the Bitcoin ETF move. However, I speculate that this is going to be a lot better, a lot more bullish than the Bitcoin ETF, not necessarily because there's going to be more money, but because the market cap is a lot smaller, and there are other factors to Ethereum, such as it being deflationary, where I think this price can actually be pushed up to nearly $6,000, even though it might not be immediate, and it could definitely be a sell the news event, and I actually do think it will be. In the long term, just give it time, and I expect a lot of great things coming out of Ethereum and hopefully for other altcoins in this market. So I am very excited for Ethereum for the later half of this year, and this guy Matt Hogan does a really great job as to saying why there's a lot of ETH tailwinds or a lot of reasons for it to be bullish. So there are significant new demand pending ETF approval. We have constrained supply. A lot of people don't really realize that Ethereum is actually net deflationary. So as long as the network is being used, there's going to be a small amount of Ethereum that gets burned every time you use it, meaning the supply goes down, unlike Bitcoin, where you get mined 450 new Bitcoin every single day that gets put out into the market. We have the cycle timing, as this is a halving year. We also have macro conditions getting better with Fed rate cuts. Hopefully there's a lot more money being put into the market, becoming more risk on for our investments. And lastly, we have the election with Trump being more pro-crypto, and it looks like he's going to win the election. And a big thing that we were saying is that Ethereum is actually deflationary. So when we take a look here at this website, we can see that about $15 billion worth of Ethereum has been burned so far ever since the EIP 1559. This is really big news. The supply is going to go down and a lot more demand is going to come into this market, especially when you introduce the public. So is that my entire strategy? Well, no, I do believe Ethereum is going to do phenomenal things within this bull cycle. However, it's all about the micro caps or your altcoins, which is where the real money is going to be made. It's not necessarily with your big market cap players like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It is a lot safer. However, the more risk there is, the higher the reward, and that's all we're about here in the crypto bull market. So let's take a look at some plays. As when Ethereum goes up, these other coins just go up by larger multiples. All right, so now let's take a look at this token Pendle. This is a decentralized finance token that's built within the Ethereum ecosystem. As you can see that we were ranging and it came down below the 200-day SMA, which kind of serves as a pretty good support band. And now we're finally starting to break out. I'm kind of expecting this to pull a move where it might come down to retest and then we shoot right back up. So the next token in the Ethereum ecosystem that we can take a look at is LDO, or Lido DAO. And essentially what it does is it provides a large staking pool for a lot of tokens. However, most notably, the platform is known for providing liquid staking solutions for Ethereum. So essentially what Lido does is that it provides a place for Ethereum holders to park their Ethereum into a safe place and provide a yield. And more excitingly, we do have this meme coin called Pepe. Essentially, it's just a meme coin, so there's no actual utility or use case behind it. However, there is a lot of recognition and a lot of people talking about it on Twitter or X. And the more people that are talking about it, the more attention it has, the more money that gets put into that token. So the reason why this one is so exciting is that there's been a huge price run up. So let's say if you got in from the start into the all-time peak, you're up about 1,300%. However, right now it is a bit lower, but you can just see how exciting this is going to be. When Ethereum does go up, this seems to be almost just a leverage long trade on Ethereum itself. So this is a pretty fun one to be in. It is super risky, so just don't put in what you're not willing to lose. And lastly, speaking of degenerate meme tokens that you have to be careful of, here is Brett on Base. And Brett is essentially the #1 token on this new Ethereum network. So Base is a new layer 2 built on Ethereum. So typically when Ethereum does well, Base does really great. This has had a really wild run up and is now sitting at a market cap of $1.4 billion. However, if Ethereum were to keep going up and up and up, I expect Brett to also follow in suit to go up and up and up. Again, it is a meme coin. There's no utility behind it, but people do like Brett on Base. So that is my strategy going into Ethereum ETF. I do mostly hold Ethereum for my portfolio. However, I am also exposed to a lot of things in the Ethereum ecosystem, like the coins I've covered in this video. So a lot of the money is going to be made with those altcoins, as I do expect to maybe double, if not just slightly do more than that on my Ethereum position. So my final thoughts is that I'm very excited for this Ethereum ETF to hopefully come out on Tuesday, barring any other delays. I do expect this to be a sell the news event where Ethereum will dip down, as it's hard to meet the expectations that investors put on these kinds of new entities, such as the Bitcoin ETF. We saw that go down 20% within 2 weeks, but then it rose again for 90% afterwards to reach new all-time highs. The way I'm preparing is I'm buying these tokens now before the surge comes later and Ethereum makes new all-time highs later this year, hopefully. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy the video and learn something new and learn how to prepare for the Ethereum ETF launch, hopefully next week. If you did, please hit a like and subscribe, as I'm gonna be putting out more crypto videos and I love doing this so much. So with that said, have a great day. Peace.